Day 102, we're going to start by reading a short story. The story is titled The Boy and the Ice Cream. It says, in the days when an ice cream sundae cost much less, a 10-year-old boy entered a hotel coffee shop and sat at a table. A waitress put a glass of water in front of him. He asked, "How much is an ice cream sundae?" 50 cents, replied the waitress. The little boy pulled his hand out of his pocket and studied a number of coins in it. He then replied, "How much is a dish of plain ice cream?" Some people were now waiting for a table, and the waitress was a bit impatient. 35 cents, she said quickly. The little boy again counted the coins. "I'll have the plain ice cream," he said. And I'll pause there for a moment. It's pretty evident at this point that the waitress is just trying to get through the interaction quick, not paying much attention to the little boy, probably frustrated that he doesn't understand how many coins he has and if he even has enough money to buy anything at the store. So then the story goes on to say, the waitress brought the ice cream, put the bill on the table, and walked away. The boy finished the ice cream, paid the cashier, and departed. When the waitress came back, she began wiping down the table and then swallowed hard at what she saw. There, placed neatly beside the empty dish, were 15 cents, her tip. So he had not only enough to cover, he wanted to clarify that, hey, I'm going to get the cheaper ice cream so I can do this lady right and leave her a tip. And again, I think the moral of that is, don't be so quick to judge a set of circumstances in front of you just based on your own experience or what you think is true about the situation. Because oftentimes, the people that we least expect to help, they're going to be very, generous. They're going to be not, who our cynical minds think they are. And talking about unlikely people, Jesus' disciples come to mind, of people that were just true and honest and followed him. And it wasn't the people with, that had the most money or the best status or the best reputation. It was just unlikely people that had a love for Jesus. So I came across that story today, and I was going to talk more about belief in David and Goliath, and I'll get to that stuff here in future videos, but I wanted to change course and just talk about that inspiring story. So, scripture today, we're going to read the book of Mark, chapter 12, verses 28 through 31. And it says, one of the teachers of the law came and heard them debating, noticing that Jesus had given them a good answer. He asked him, "Of all the commandments, which is the most important?" "The most important one," answered Jesus, "is this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord of God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this. Love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these." And I've always loved those verses, and I think it forces us to slow down and understand that we can get in the hustle and bustle of what we need to achieve and what we need to do throughout our day to take care of our own interests. But if we're not, first of all, loving the Lord your God, loving Jesus with everything that we are and leading with that, and then secondarily loving those around us, loving God's creation, loving his vessels that he created, just as we are trying to take care of our own priorities, if we're not loving others in that same fashion, then we're doing it all wrong. So between that bit of scripture and the ice cream story, it's just a challenge in my life that I'm going to try to do better in just slowing down and loving people, supporting people. And again, not jumping to just my cynical human nature. If someone's holding me up or being some sort of inconvenience, and it could be anything as simple as someone in traffic, or someone in front of you in line at a coffee shop, or someone at work that is getting on your nerves, or a time thief, or whatever the case is. is just trying to show Jesus and trying to exemplify immense patience, and knowing that every opportunity is an opportunity to show people Jesus. And that's day 102.